Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane. Today it's going to be a bit of a short one, but hopefully you won't find that a bit of a turn-off. But nonetheless, a 1 vs 1 in the darkness of Semois. Yes, indeed, I've got a lot of replays to go through, and I'm sort of short of time. I mean, a lot of replays, well, they're sort of really short, like 20 minutes, or they're 1 hour long. There's nothing in between, which sort of puts me in a bit of problem since I'm actually rather short on time, at least I feel so, and so I end up actually spending several hours just trying to find one replay, which also comes down to I'm actually feeling like doing a 1 hour cast, which can be a bit exhausting, which is also why I prefer not doing them every time, which again also leads to the request, don't send me constantly 1 hour replays. And of course, who shall be fighting? Well, here in the southern half, we shall be seeing Vlad. Yes, indeed, I've got a friend Vlad fighting for the 4th Infantry Division. Opposing him shall be GenDodoReborn, possibly GenDodoReborn. Reminds me a bit of General Dodimir, but I haven't heard from him in some time, so who knows. Fighting, though, for the 17th SS. And in fact, let's get right down to it. Let's see what these two gentlemen shall do. I mean, again, I know some people want 2 vs 2s. Of course, I'm doing my best. Well, sort of, with the time, of course, allotted to me. And again, a lot of people just, end up with 1 hour casts, and that's sort of, oh dear. And it's also a bit harder to spot who's actually good in 2 vs 2s when you look on game replays, which is a bit of a bother. But I certainly endeavour. Of course, I know some people want 2 vs 2s, and of course I want to sort of provide that. But again, 2 vs 2 games are a bit harder, to find the good ones, the ones that are fun to watch. Usually it either ends up with some sort of crazy spam, or one person really does a terrible job, and that's why the other side won. And that's not fun. At least in my opinion, of course. So there you go. Of course, feel free, if you see one, for example, on game replays, and you think, hey, that's fun, he should cast that, feel free to link me to it. And of course, trying to have a look at it myself. But I mean, so far the usual start from either side. Lovely, lovely. Interesting feature of the map. For some reason, just got caught up in that. And again, I mean, also reason again why I don't always cast 1 hour games for some of the technical bits is it takes 1 hour for me to do it, and again, sometimes you don't feel like doing a 1 hour cast. And sometimes again they do also tend to end up a bit tedious at the end, so sort of a few problems there. Folks, guys marching up, riflemen marching up here. I mean, so far, although there's something slightly odd going on here. General Dodo is actually focusing pretty heavily on the other side here. He's not heading towards here, he's instead going towards there. That's actually odd. That's not what you see a lot of players do. At least not I've seen a lot of Wehrmacht players do that at all. Usually they tend to focus down here, since again that's shorter to the base. But apparently General Dodo is going for a more overarching strategy. He's laying out some sandbags though before he even begins taking the point. That is good to see. That is very nice. Riflemen advancing up. And that's going to make a bit of a mess of the Volksgrenadiers plans, heading up behind their cover. They up. Jolly good, jolly good. Riflemen a bit exposed. In fact, one down there. That was probably Doyle. Pioneers moving up. They could aid this. They could sneak up here. Let's just briefly pause because we'll have plenty of time, sort of, sneak up here. And then get close up to the riflemen and add in with a submachine gun, thus putting up the pressure further on the riflemen, perhaps even forcing them away. Also a fun fact, MP40s of the Pioneers are in terms of damage the same as the Volksgrenadier MP40s. The difference is Pioneers can't hit the broadside of a barn. But back to the front, I mean, again, you can use Pioneers, or as American soldiers like to do, use Engineers to sort of tip the scales in your favor. But apparently General Dodo feels otherwise. One Volksgrenadier bites the dust, but so another rifleman does. Possibly even Conrad, who forgot to tie his shoelaces, as always. Another Volksgrenadier team joining in there, and that gets slightly more complicated. I mean, I'd not recommend against spreading up your Volksgrenadiers. Preferably you sort of try to keep them together to support each other. That's not what's happening here. And Pioneers running into the building. They're going to have to retreat, and now Volksgrenadiers are running into problems, and are in fact being forced off the field. And these Pioneers just need to get out of there. What are you doing, mate? Those Pioneers barely have any health left. And again, in those situations, the key is sort of to try and sort of, not just directly retreat them, but sort of get them moving towards a path where they will then, once you retreat, move back to a base without running into hordes of angry GIs armed with semi-automatic rifles. And too late there, although he's running into the ditch for a bit of light cover. That's could be his salvation. And then, oh, never mind. Looks like he might make it out there. He might. Come on, Hans, run. And yes, he did it. Incredibly lucky pioneer right there. Volkskriegszaga MG42 in support, but awfully wounded rifleman being sent right into the mix of all this. Position at the cafe, rifleman under quite a bit of fire. Although looks like the position could get flanked by Vlad at this very moment. No, yes, come on Vlad, decide. Rifleman taking heavy losses. And the opportunity has been lost, I feel. More sandbags right here again to sort of protect and provide heavy cover for the Volkskriegs. Again, very nice. In this case, and there we go, right within the range of the bunker. In fact, luring in the rifleman perhaps, causing quite a few losses to them and scoring a bit of fun for the Volkskriegs. And now pushing on here, he's going for the Semois pen, as it is known, basically sort of cutting off here and ensuring it's going to be very difficult for the American commander to actually get out. Of course, we'll have to see how this one is going to work out. In fact, it looks like Vlad is getting some grenades, so he's going to prepare for some pretty nasty assault bits. MG42 setting up there.
Observation posts report we are
Volkskriegs being forced off, though, before they can completely render Wehrmacht territory. MG42 fires on the retreating men rather than the riflemen standing right in front of them. And at the same time, riflemen moving on to do the same thing against the Wehrmacht. Oh, Vlad, you cheeky devil. Riflemen here, they're getting stopped, getting suppressed again. 3 Volkskriegs teams out from General Dodo. That's a pretty... well, that's the sort of thing. I'd go for 3 Volkskriegs and MG. Nice start. Gives quite a bit of maneuverability and firepower, of course. That's only the advantages of it. And they, of course, cut off. A bit grim for Dodo, although he's laying down mines here. Nice to see. And again, going for the cutoff there. MG covering. Has to be careful, though. He's not attacked from other points. Again, he has now to remember the rear is not safe. Rifleman could be sneaking up. Of course, he does not know that Vlad has grenades. And that first grenade usually tends to be the most effective one, because that's the one your opponent is never expecting. Well, hopefully never expecting. Usually, though, if he's really observant, he can spot it and actually stop it. But it looks like the riflemen are on the run. Veterans 1 for the Volkskriegs. Riflemen are getting closer and closer. There's nothing to hold this area. And no barbed wire iron, but Dodemir, he's instead going for this point. And Fraps acting chill, and there we go, grenade on the MG42. One managed to get out. What does he do? Oh no, don't tell me you're running into it again. Just get out of there. Position is compromised. And stopping up right in front of the building. And there we go, now retreating, but I don't... yes, indeed, he did not make it. And that was less than good for General Dodo. Sorry if I called him Dodemir, and he's not Dodemir, by the way. More riflemen pushing in, and there Vlad rather got the opening. He really needed to give the Germans something to worry about. That MG was pretty vital. And with that, of course, Dodemir is in an awful lot of trouble. Weapon support center up for Vlad as well. He's going pretty steady with the first tier. Bunker going up for Dodo. Stop calling him Dodemir then. You don't know if it's the same guy, just having joined the clan. But this looks like it might be stopped. Rifleman in a problem as well. Of course, now they have to worry about grenades from Vlad. Oh, Vlad. Alright, I'll stop with that as well. It looks like another MG42 has arrived for General Dodo. Things are pretty swiftly collapsing for him, though. Forces need reinforcing. He's probably going for the skirmish phase, perhaps. Or perhaps having felt he could pressure on really hard with the first tier, perhaps he's even going for the Sturm Armory. Rifleman getting suppressed. Taking some losses to the MG42. No veterancy, though, for the MG42. I mean, veterancy 1 for that is also a pretty damn good investment. It increases the accuracy by 25%, making it that much more accurate. Plus the sort of increase in reloading speed. That means it takes shorter time to reload. Can also be quite helpful. And again, also overall increases the rate of fire. Rifleman now with BARs. Again, pretty heavy tier 1 for Vlad, but he's not using the weapon support center. Rifleman firing from there. Volkskriegs in a bit of trouble, though. Dodo will need Blitzkrieg to actually break through here, I think. Or perhaps some heavy cover. One Pulse Grenade down. Pioneers moving up. All a bit quiet. Action on the western flank as well. And, oh dear, one rifleman dropped. Right there. Rifleman getting stopped right here, but the MG-42 having abandoned the safety of their building. They're now into heavy firepower. Bunker going out for Dodo. Grenade against the Pulse Grenadiers, but it doesn't actually hit anyone. And my goodness, the rifleman actually losing to veterans who want Pulse Grenadiers. And again, riflemen have BAR, so that tends to be pretty bad. Or at least quite well for the Pulse Grenadiers, I suppose. They're quite happy about that. And there we go. In fact, veterans who want Pulse Grenadiers beat off riflemen with BARs. That's quite something. Mines though getting set off. Doing quite a bit of damage.
Sector being captured.
Bunker up. And Pioneers seem to be a bit forgotten. Oh, alas, brave Pioneers. No one seems to care about you. More retreating Pulse Grenadiers. And a mine went off there. That was the other mine boom. I was a bit unsure what it was. Trier Center now for Vlad. He's continuing to stick in the first tier. Might consider having gone for some armor. And again, I'm not quite happy about the weapon support center not being used. And now we are in fact seeing a Sturm Army for General Dodo, having felt that he could get away with that, in fact. I mean, it's not unusual. And again, it's sort of... Let's just briefly pause. I mean, it sort of follows the same logic, I suppose, as when you're playing against the Americans. You're not seeing BARs for some time. If you're playing against the Wehrmacht, and you're not seeing Grenadiers, and at least you're not seeing a medic bunker at the same time, a half-tech pack or a mortar, I mean, it's not... you know, it shouldn't be completely unexpected that you might be going for a Sturm Armory. And the Sturm Armory does tend to be what a lot of players go for. Wehrmacht players go for when they see the BARs being chosen for the riflemen, thus getting armored cars and thus showing those American riflemen what for. It's only one way of doing it. They might in fact be catching Vlad a bit off guard because again he's been spending a lot of resources on a lot of other things, grenades, BARs, Trier Center and a weapon support center which he has yet to use. Not quite optimal right there, but it's only, and of course he's been doing a lot of damage to General Dodo. So it's not all bad in that sense. First gun's getting reinforced once more. Sturm Armory going up.
Our front lines are collapsing.
Rifleman holding up in the church. The BAR singing the gospel, I suppose. False Grenadiers not joining in. They could actually quite nicely do that. But apparently they decided against it, and now it looks like more forces joining in. Flamethrowers, more riflemen with BARs. Fuel pump being taken and more false guns advancing. Medic bunker ready by the side of the road. Our first aid station, I suppose. And there we go. Flamethrowers getting ready to... nope, they're not flanking. They don't care at all. But there are more flamethrowers. No, there we go. And it looks like a major assault going in for Vlad. False guns taking up in the building. Mines going down. And there we go. Also, remember, using the building can in fact also give you quite the advantage in terms of visual range. Of course, spotting things, but it might be a bit too late there. And I think we might be seeing some grenades. So that could also prove to be a problem. But really a major assault going on there. Several angles. And he's actually turning about the MG-42 in prediction. It is trying to stop it. Storm Armory will in fact be ready to put out a Puma or an armored car. Of course, Puma is the upgraded one. But mid-game situation, while the Wehrmacht is holding most of the victory points, they are not otherwise really holding most of the territory. They're under quite a bit of pressure. Quite the assault force that Vlad has assembled. Lots of BARs, flamethrowers, grenades. That's the sort of thing most Wehrmacht players have nightmares about. I suppose some of them are gleefully think about it. And of course his salvation basically lies in perhaps getting an armored car. And also that medic bunker being able to get up some grenadiers. So of course the question is how that work out. And I mean it might have been an advantage actually playing down some mines in advance, but sadly no such thing. There's been very little mines from General Dodo, which of course could end up biting him in the arse. Of course, as soon as he turns that MG-42 away from there, riflemen might be popping up there and of course charging in here. And of course MP-40 for the full guns, at least one team could also have been advantageous. On the other hand for Vlad, I mean he might want to consider begin investing in some anti-tank assets, otherwise that armored car is going to wreak absolute hell on him. Let's return to the fight. And there we go, grenade. And Volkskrieger do spot it, they do get out, do pull away. Assault pushing in, Minesweeper's actually up, that's nice, and MG42 stopping right there. And there we go, Rifle moving in, but getting cut down by Volkskrieger is firing most accurately. MG40's joining in as well. Grenade on the MG42, will be able to... Oh! Bugger me, that was the entire MG42 team. That was another MG42 team down the drain. Although some engineers could be lost. But... Come on, someone kill the engineers. Hit them. I know. There we go. Medic's actually doing a bit of work. And a strong point right there, making things a bit harder. Again, the BARs basically mean even these two windows can actually prove to be quite a problem. And even now the Volkskrieger are taking losses. Interesting enough, there's been no attempt at really laying down sandbags to sort of prevent this from being too powerful. And now defensive going up, he's going to use that bunker as a forward reinforcement point. Pioneers pushed off, while the others continue right here with the flamethrowers. Might have been an idea to actually push them over to where they're needed to burn some Yankees. Armored car on the way, Nebelwerfer on the way. Volkskrieger is getting reinforced. Light firing going on. Still no attempt at even laying down some sandbags. That could have been nice. Would actually provide some cover, make them less obvious targets, of course. Less veterancy for the riflemen. But there we go. Schwerer Panzerspähwagen ready. The heavy armored car of the Wehrmacht. 8 Rad, 8-wheeled. They also had one 6th-wheel actually, but that was quickly phased out. And more fighting here. Volkskrieger's getting caught out by the riflemen. Mines by the Pioneers though. That's good. That's good. And Volkskrieger are finding themselves being charged at. They need to get out of there. Jürgen went down. And a grenadier team actually gets reformed. That's going to be a boost for General Dodo. If he uses them, and also those Volksgrenadiers. Come on. Vorwärtsmänner. The way is cleared for the 17th. Riflemen hanging up quite nicely, considering the circumstances. And General Dodo again needs to get moving. Nebelwerfer ready. Kriegberg's now going up. Fascinatingly enough. Come on. It's not like he's doing a lot there. Volkskrieger still being hunted down by the rifleman. One down, but those Volkskrieger need to get out of there. Panzerschreck ready. Still no greater movement from General Dodo. Most disappointingly. And there we go, rifleman abandoning the building and making a hasty run for it. Will this mean that General Dodo finally gets a bloody move on?
We are losing
and gets taken back some points. Come on, Dodo. Push. Push. Vorwärts. Lazy dog. Person, whatever. There we go. Finally getting some movement out of those Volksgrenadiers. Not good discipline, that I'd say. And rifleman running into a bit of a problem here with the heavy armored car. Nebelwerfer firing in Sturm, multiple, I mean, not Sturm Armory going up for Vlad. I'd say something was a bit wrong. He was getting a Sturm Armory considering he's playing against the Americans. Grenadiers still not moving though. No victory points actually being secured right there. Grim move. Volkskrieger need to get reinforced. Is he absent-minded or what? I'm not entirely sure. Pushing against the rifleman right there. Rifleman moving against the big fuel point there. Come on. Rifleman pushed off. Other rifleman could be hunted down by the armored car. And there we go. Veteran D2 on the way for the infantry. Grenadiers. Still not moving. I'd say that's not good at all. I mean, Grenadiers are a pretty good asset to have them stand about there for I don't know how much part of the game. I'd say that's a miss. And there we go. Armored car arriving. Now he needs to get that Nebelwerfer moving. The Grenadiers with the Panzerschreck moving. Panzerfaust on the armored car. Grenadiers still standing about. And Nebelwerfer could be bombarding the riflemen inside there, but that's not happening either. A lot of things that could be happening, but aren't happening. I'd say that's a bit depressing. More armored cars coming out for Vlad.
Unit lost.
Pioneers go
Defended
down
the
though.
farmland until death.
Nebelwerfer firing. Where to though?
Attack our forward
For some
base.
reason, right at the junction there.
We're losing a sector.
An armored car sneaking in from the rear though. And the Grenadiers are not anywhere to be actually helpful. Pack 38 though, could be of aid, could be. Armored car though ambushed. Nebelwerfer crews in a lot of trouble as well. Pack 38 tries to fire but misses. In fact, it doesn't even get to fire off the shot. And that was a pretty huge blow to GenDodoReborn. Rifleman though getting gunned down by two Volksgrenadier teams. In fact, that was somewhat of a loss. But nothing compared to the other things that GenDodo lost himself.
Attention. The enemy
And again, he's sort of getting... No, wait, there we go. Seizing the BARs for the Volksgrenadier team in the best condition. Oh dear, he's moving the packs. And oh dear, now it's getting flanked. But and he's still forgotten about the other one, and a Volksgrenadier team gets lost. This is not looking good at all for GenDodo. This is an absolute disaster, a mess. And a lot of other adjectives. More grenades. These chaps actually retreat.
One of our sectors has been cut off.
And Volksgrenadier getting gunned down on the retreat. That's good. Another pack. No Stug. No armored car with perhaps an
We are losing territory.
upgraded gun. Pack has been wrecked. I mean Nebelwerfer. And this pretty much looks like to be it for GenDodoReborn. A good lesson in what not to do with the Wehrmacht, I suppose, in terms of activity.
We have territory cut off from supply.
Yes, ja, you'll do. Fall in line.
Now all seems a bit quiet, so why not speed things up? Dual Panzer Schrecks on the Grenadiers. No LMG, that could have been helpful, but I suppose he's really keen on getting those armored cars, which I suppose is quite fair.
Ja.
And getting a replacement enabler for taking back the victory points, advancing up. No barbed wire, no sandbags, nothing to help. And looks like another armored car's arrived. And an anti-tank gun to cover the entrance. No, that's just the two other armored cars. Oh, well. All a bit quiet. And a mine right there. Well done, Vlad. Bit of damage. Rifleman sneaking in from the west. Panzer Command on the way. And Pioneer's going to get gunned down, I fear. Pack not pointing in a helpful direction. Grenadiers not moving in to assist either. While the requisite assets are not being moved in is beyond my understanding. Rather moving in for a bit of disruption right there, a bit of harassment. And getting an MG42. Well, that's certainly a bit unexpected at this stage. Getting assaulted by riflemen though. Grenadiers pulling in but blowing up their own cover. That's less fortunate, much less fortunate. And grenades getting exchanged. Grenadiers though taking the... Oh dear, and a Panzer Schreck left behind. Again, that's rather one reason why you try not to have both on one team. And now the pack is moving, becoming an obvious target. And of course the Panzer Schrecks are nowhere to be seen. And the other one isn't being moved. I'd say General Dodo's handling of his armored assets, or anti-tank assets more specifically, has not been very good or very inspiring. Let's just finish off this nightmare. I mean, in this game, and again, my apologies for it being so short, basically shortness of time, as it comes around occasionally, but I still hope it served some lessons, you know, again, in terms of activity, and I believe General Dodo is actually reasonably high ranked, at least around 12 or 13, so it's not complete mess, and of course we do know Vlad is a good player as well. But, I mean, what sort of problems did General Dodo face? I mean, it wasn't like he was throwing out completely rubbish units. I mean, his trouble was he wasn't really coordinating well. Volksgranates were too far apart. That's not very good at all. He had good cover of sandbags in the beginning, but then nothing really happened, and he was too slow in actually reacting to what was going on. And his placement of packs wasn't quite fortunate as well, and what was probably been the more mobile reaction force didn't react. The Panzerschrecks never came. Problem that, and of course just sort of he was much too inactive half the time with lots of units. On the other hand, I mean, from Vlad we saw good usage of grenades. I mean, really nice things here and there. Mines, nicely done. And about that, but the weapon support center wasn't good. I'm not entirely sure what he was intending there, but, you know, try not to build something like that unless you intend to use it. I mean, it was quite fortunate that the armored car didn't do more damage than it did. But there you go. I do hope you enjoyed this game. If you did, why not subscribe, tell your friends, and if you didn't, well, why not send in a replay of your own? This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.